Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Lloyd.
I'm Amanda Peralta. Thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30.
Well, our top story tonight at 5:30, a contaminated piece of property in Houston County may see new life thanks to federal dollars just approved.
Our Brianna Cook is live with more on what this means for citizens in Perry. Brianna?
Greg and Amanda, that means $500,000 will be going to the city of Perry to help with hazardous cleanup.
Today, Senators Ossoff and Warnock delivered new resources through the bipartisan infrastructure law to help expedite the cleanup of hazardous materials found on the 1.4-acre Stanley assemblage property in Perry. Senator John Ossoff says the law will help provide more resources for the cleanup process.
We all want healthy air, clean water, healthy soil. When we have chemical contamination, we need to clean it up. And this bipartisan infrastructure law is bringing resources to Georgia to clean up these contaminated sites.
The new resources will be used to remove pollutants like a metal degreasing solvent from the nearly century-old property, which previously housed a Stanley furniture store, a dry cleaning facility, and a gas station in the 1960s. The CDC states exposure to the metal degreasing solvent is known to cause irritation in the eyes, nose, skin, throat, and respiratory system. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, people living near these sites may be exposed to hazardous substances by drinking groundwater impacted by the site, by wind carrying contamination off-site, or even by walking on the site itself, leading to long-term environmental and health risks. Ossoff says the law helps many other things that affect Georgians.
And this bipartisan infrastructure law, which is upgrading roads, bridges, rail, seaports, airports, expanding broadband internet access, getting lead pipes out of drinking water systems, is a once-in-a-generation chance to clean up long-standing environmental contamination in communities across Georgia.
Perry will receive $500,000 through the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law's EPA Brownfields Grant Program to begin contamination removal and support community engagement activities. Perry is one of the 4 communities across Georgia to receive this important grant. The city of Perry told WGXA News, "We are excited and grateful to be the recipient of this grant. This funding is to be utilized in cleaning up the former Stanley property as we work towards the continued beautification of the Perry Events Center grounds."
Ossoff and Warnock have also secured funds for another contaminated site in Adrian, which is located in Johnson County. Reporting live in Perry, Brianna Cook at WGXA News.
All right, we appreciate that. Thank you, Brianna. And take a look at this. Deputies say the College Street entrance of Rose Hill Cemetery is closed after a truck rammed into the archway. The County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a black truck hit the archway sometime last night. They are working with nearby businesses to see if any of them caught the incident on camera. Macon-Bibb Communications Officer Chris Floor says Parks and Beautification is assessing the damage and if repairs are possible, and if so, how much they will cost. And in Washington County, the Board of Education is on the search for a new superintendent after voting to release Dr. Ricky Edmond from his contract. Edmond's last day will be June 30th. The school system has not shared why they chose to part ways with Edmond, but WGXA has reported multiple complaints against the school for contract issues, special needs resources, and salary inequities. WGXA News is also working to learn if the vote to release Edmond included a buyout amount, and if so, how much that is costing the district.
And take a look at your screen. Bibb County deputies say 26-year-old Nikki Heichelbeck has not been seen since May 14th. In an incident report, her mother says she believes her daughter's boyfriend may have kidnapped her again since he's done it before. If you know anything about where Nikki may be, contact the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
A Florida man is behind bars after Georgia State troopers say he was under the influence when he rear-ended a Macon woman on State Route 162, killing her. Investigators say Stephen Taft was following too closely behind Angelina Brittany Fuller when he rear-ended her, causing both vehicles to leave the roadway. Fuller died on the scene. Taft is facing multiple charges, including driving under the influence and vehicular homicide. Tonight we have an update to a Project Macon story we previously brought to you. WGXA's Brittany Miller has been digging into victims who refuse to cooperate with law enforcement, including why it happens and how officials respond.
Tonight, she details multiple recent assaults where victims put the brakes on the wheels of justice.
Grazed in the head by a bullet, shot in the stomach. Those are some of the injuries described in half a dozen police reports from April of this year. What they share in common outside of acts of violence, all of the victims said no thanks to getting help from the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
We want, in every case, to pursue justice and have accountability, but we do need victim and witness cooperation. We cannot do this job without that.
That's District Attorney Anita R. Howard from the Macon Judicial Circuit when we spoke to her about people declining prosecution or even an investigation.
It emboldens criminals, right? So when they feel like they've gotten away with something, then they are more inclined, I believe, to do something again.
According to the sheriff's office, when someone declines to have violence against them investigated, no police report is made. But sometimes a deputy writes one up. On May 17th, I requested a list of the aggravated assault reports where the victim declined to press charges from April 1st, 2023 to present day. In that list were these 7 cases. The reports describe 7 men, all shot at least once. They all tell deputies they don't know who shot them. Many of them even saying they don't know where they were when they were shot. Like one man who was shot on April 3rd. A Bibb deputy talked to him in a hospital room at Atrium Health Navicent. He had a gunshot wound to the foot. Though he says he didn't know what happened or where it happened, he was adamant he didn't shoot himself. He told the deputy he didn't need an investigation. All he needed was pain medicine. Some victims, though, even reject medical care, like the man who was shot weeks later on April 25th. His friend told deputies that the man was shot while at a gas station trying to fix his car. Though he took a bullet to the stomach, he refused to go to the hospital, even after EMS warned him the injury could be fatal. So why do some people turn down getting help when they've become victims of something as serious as gunfire? The district attorney shares one possibility.
There's a lack of trust with the criminal justice system, and that's why it's important to continuously to prioritize building that trust.
Right now, we're working to sit down with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office to ask whether they recognize the lack of trust in the Macon community and if there's anything they can do to improve it. Reporting for Project Macon, Brittany Miller, WGXA News.
The threat of the United States potentially facing its first ever default is now gone.
In late dramatic fashion, the Senate passed the debt ceiling bill that increases the nation's debt limit. But not all lawmakers are celebrating.
The Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023 places a cap on non-defense spending, cuts some COVID-19 relief funds, and increases work requirements for some food stamp recipients. More importantly, it makes sure those getting Social Security keep getting checks and that military members keep getting paid.
The president praised Congress's efforts, saying he looks forward to signing the bill into law. He plans to address the nation tonight at 7.
We spoke with Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff today about the last-minute vote. He says it never should have been this situation.
We passed legislation to avoid default, which would have had a catastrophic impact on Georgia, the nation, and the world. But we really never should have been where we were. And these default politics, where some extreme lawmakers in the U.S. House threatened financial catastrophe as a bargaining tactic, I think is deeply irresponsible. We've avoided default, but the American people shouldn't be subjected to this kind of financial blackmail.
Ossoff also added that the bipartisan bill was a big compromise and no side got exactly what they wanted. The deal raises the debt ceiling for 2 years. All right, well, Amanda, it's a good time to be out at the ballpark. You know, the season opener for the Making Bacon today.
I hear that they're hoping to score a home run or a few, and that's where we find meteorologist Ryan Mirando as he's out there, and I hope he has his sunscreen. Since
yeah, me too.
Since that is what he's always preaching to us.
Yes.
Absolutely. I've got my sunscreen, I've got my sunglasses on. We are definitely being safe because the sun is definitely in full force today, and it is a little warm, but there is a bit of a breeze. It's kind of knocking off the heat. Some players are out here warming up right now, getting ready for the big game that starts at 7. There even is a fireworks show after the game, so it definitely is going to be a big night for the Macon Bacon baseball, and the weather is going to cooperate. Right now, temperatures are into the mid to upper 80s, 87 in Macon, 86 in Forsyth, just some fair weather cumulus clouds out, but there is a bit of that breeze, so it is going to be a rather comfortable night for your Friday night, no matter what you're doing. 84 degrees at 7 o'clock, 73 by 10, and temperatures will be cooling off into the mid-60s through the overnight hours. And satellite and radar, not much is happening over us, but there is that swirl that's out there in the Gulf of Mexico. That is our first tropical storm of 2023. So looking ahead at what's coming up tomorrow, temperatures are going to be about 5 degrees warmer today in the low 90s. There will be a bit of a breeze the whole weekend, but I've got a lot to talk about with the first tropical storm of 2023 and where it's going. I'll break it all down coming up in your full forecast. I'm going to hand that back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Ryan. It's a great time to download that WGXA weather app. Ryan back in less than 20 minutes. He'll have that 10-day forecast. It's harvest time for Georgia's blueberry crops, and one mid-state grower says it's shaping up to be a good year for many producers. Tonight, we go on the farm and we visit a mid-state operation using technology to get the berries from the field to consumers across the country. The steady hum of the harvester. It's a welcome sound that signals a good year here at Anna's Garden Blueberry Farm in Wilcox County.
We have some bushes that are not large enough to withstand the harvester, so we do hand pick those. But the majority of our farm is machine harvested, and we've been very pleased with that. And this is I think our 4th season that we have machine harvested.
The harvester sits tall to allow it to be driven slowly over a row of blueberry bushes without damaging them. These sway bars gently knock the ripe berries off the trees. A conveyor belt sends them to the top of the harvester. The berries fall directly into bins, which workers stack on pallets. The hands-free harvest adds an extra level of food safety.
We don't have any hands that actually touch the fruit. And so by doing that and using good hand washing practices and being sanitary, sanitizing the machine, minimizing the amount of exposure to people, it keeps a healthier, cleaner berry that we send off for the consumers.
The berries are shipped to a packaging company and then ultimately go to giant manufacturing company Dole.
That's one thing that's fun about this venture is you never know where your berries will end up, and that also drives us to have perfect food safety audits and to make sure our berries are safe.
Despite a final punch from Old Man Winter in March of this year in the form of a harsh cold snap, the berries here at Anna's Garden are yielding pretty well this year.
And we can spray water over these berries, and that water forms a barrier of protection over the berries, and then it'll melt off. So we had to run freeze protection 4 different nights, but it worked for us and our berries survived.
But last year, Anna's Garden lost 80% of its crop, all over a plunge of just a few degrees.
It got 29 here, and our berries here can weather maybe 32, 31, but when it gets below that, it doesn't matter what you do, the cold is pretty much going to get them.
But Elizabeth McQuaig McIntyre says no matter the challenges of farming, the benefits always far outweigh any disadvantages.
It is so rewarding to plant a little plant that is about 8 inches tall and see it come to fruition and have berries. And so the very first berries I eat off of a bush for the beginning of the season is my favorite. And then my saddest is when I know I've picked the last little handful of berries and we won't have any until next year.
We've made it to Game Changer Friday, and this week Carlos Stevens is highlighting a young lady from Jones County.
That's right, and her passion to impact her community comes from her love for kids.
When she's not winning playing volleyball, you can count on rising senior Naya Warren to be in the community winning with giving back. Naya has interned at Turner Woods Elementary School, where she attended as a child. According to Naya, she helps students with their different school subjects by tutoring them. Naya says she's looking forward to becoming a future educator.
When I think about my future in the classroom, I get so excited. Like just the role of it, like the teaching, the classroom, just like being a future educator, it's just so fun. Just teaching little kids.
Naya says she doesn't lack any passion when it comes to education, and her family is there to support her every step of the way, including a special little someone.
My little brother, it's my pride and joy. You got practice today. He's like my #1 fan.
And according to Naya's head varsity volleyball coach, Kim Hanner, he has a lot to cheer for.
She has a killer shot.
But Naya says she doesn't let sports get in the way of academics.
And if I feel like my sport is taken away from my school life, then I take off from my sport and focus on my school.
But there's likely no need for Naya to take a break from sports. According to Coach Hanner, she has a 4.0 GPA and takes no break even when competing in volleyball.
She was implemental in our first region win last year. She's also a founder of the volleyball program at Jones County.
But how does Naya face adversity?
I really put like stuff in the hands of God because I don't know where I'd be without him.
And Coach Hanner says Naya is every coach's dream athlete.
She is the person that we want to duplicate, we want to clone and have a whole team of Naya Warrens.
But Naya, she's just proud to be a Greyhound.
Go Greyhounds.
And that's your game changer of the week. Congrats, Naya. Central Georgia, you know the drill. Reporting in Jones County, I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA Sports.
A gorgeous Friday for some baseball. We're out here right now at the Macon Bacon baseball game at Carolyn Creighton Park. They're getting ready for the big game tonight that starts at 7 o'clock. The weather is definitely going to cooperate. There is a bit of a breeze, but it's going to be a very comfortable night for us, even for the fireworks show after the game. A pretty big night for baseball. Otherwise, for your weekend, it's going to be pretty warm. Tomorrow, it turns a lot more warmer. High should be into the low 90s. Mostly sunny, though. On Sunday, we kick up the breeze a little bit higher, and there could be a few PM isolated showers around. Not expecting widespread rain. The high a little bit cooler, 88 degrees. Right now, temperatures are also into the mid to upper 80s. 87 in Macon, 81 though in Roberta, 86 in Butler, 85 in Hawkinsville, and 87 in McRae. So it's going to be a very comfortable Friday evening no matter what you're doing. And notice on satellite radar, we don't have a lot that's going on over us right now, but notice that spin out over the Gulf of Mexico. That is the first tropical storm of 2023, named Storm Arlene right now. This has winds upwards of 40 miles per hour. It's off the coast of Florida. Likely won't be making landfall in the U.S., but it could bring some outer rain bands to the west coast of Florida. This looks to take a dive to the south as we get further into the weekend. It's not really going to intensify anymore. Likely will weaken back down into a tropical depression with Saturday as it begins to approach Cuba for the later half of the weekend, but it's not going to be impacting us whatsoever here in Middle Georgia. Tonight, though, it's going to be a very comfortable night. Overnight low, 63 degrees under mostly clear skies. No matter what your Friday night plans are, it's going to be another comfortable night, a lot like last night. And planning your day out tomorrow, also going to be a beautiful day as that heat begins to pick up. 68 degrees at 1 o'clock. Any lunchtime plans going to be nice, 82 degrees. Grab the sunglasses. Also, don't forget to wear the sunscreen, of course. And by 4 o'clock, temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s. So it is going to be a pretty warm day. I think the humidity will stay in check, though, for tomorrow, so it's not going to be unbearable outside. And most of the rain chances should be on the very isolated side like we've had the past few days, where it's a pop-up storm here or there. We are watching as we get towards mid-portions of next week for another frontal system come on through. It doesn't look to have a ton of moisture, but could bring some more scattered showers, but not a lot of widespread rain really anytime in the near future. So here's your 10-day forecast tomorrow. It's turning hot, mostly sunny, 90 degrees. The humidity should stay in the check over the weekend. We do have that slight breeze throughout all of it, but the breeze really picks up on Sunday. Winds gusting up to about 15, 20 miles per hour with some isolated showers around on Sunday afternoon. Most of the day will be dry. Not everyone will see the rain. 88 degrees. Headed back to work on Monday. Bright sunshine. Another day to wear the sunglasses. 88 degrees for the high. Tuesday could be the warmest day so far this year with a high of 92 degrees with some isolated showers once again in the afternoon. And then Wednesday into Thursday looks to be that time when that frontal system could come through, which really will knock down our temperatures. Wednesday 89, but Thursday into Friday temperatures only into the low 80s. So, of course, last thing, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast. Peaks in the good category at 2 a.m. and the excellent category at 8:20 p.m.
Well, thank you, Ryan. There is no shortage of fun going on around the Mid-State tonight. Downtown Perry is being turned into an epic block party, bringing the community together. Starting now until 9 tonight, the streets of downtown will be full of live music, foam party, chalk art, a petting zoo, lawn games, and much more.
And Milledgeville is kicking off the start of summer with its annual First Friday Beach Bash. Tons of sand is being brought in to transform the city into the ideal beach destination. Beach toys will be provided for the kiddos along with a face painting station. There's going to be plenty of good drinks with the Summer Sip series starting back up and plenty of barbecue for dinner. The city is even bringing in a henna artist and an airbrusher for custom clothes designs. It's all starting now in downtown Milledgeville.
And it is opening night for the Macon Bacon, and the team is paying tribute to Macon's first residents, the Muskogee Creek Nation. The Bacon will wear special jerseys made just for the game. This is just the latest way that Macon is strengthening its relationship with the Muskogee people. First pitch is tonight at 7.
The Peach State is celebrating the favorite fruit today. The Georgia Peach Festival is back in Fort Valley. It's a way for the state to honor its peach farmers for all they contribute to Georgia's economy and food industry. The Sweets Festival runs today and tomorrow in Fort Valley, then again next Saturday, June 10th in Byron. No matter what day you go, there's plenty of good music, food, and fair-like fun to be had. You also don't want to miss the making of the world's largest peach cobbler. You can see the 11-foot by 5-foot cobbler be made by Chef Rich Bennett tomorrow. Mars could be the internet's, next big influencer. The Red Planet is making its live streaming debut on YouTube today. The European Space Agency says it will stream an hour of the first live images taken directly from Mars. The event celebrates the 20th anniversary of the launch of the agency's Mars Express, which is a mission to take 3D images of the planet's surface. While the agency is calling it a live stream, it will not truly be live from Mars. The ESA estimates it will take about 17 minutes for the light needed to form the images to travel from Mars to Earth, then another minute to make it to servers on the ground. They hope to stream a new image about every 50 seconds. The ESA says the stream is up on its YouTube channel right now.
Oh, wow, that blows my mind, all that math involved, too.
I am fascinated, though, by the pictures that come back from these experiments, because they're things that you can't even wrap your head around.
You really can't. It is fascinating, and science is wonderful. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the news at 5:30 on this Friday.
We invite you to join us again at 6 on ABC 16 in just a few minutes.
And if you like our show, we hope you'll like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a good evening, everyone.